Hi there, and a warm welcome to the Road to Success with the Lady Maya podcast. On this podcast, we get into the stories, struggles, and successes of entrepreneurs and professionals. My guest today is Tobi Familusi, a man who came here a few years ago and got a job just a couple of days into landing in the real estate business. Today, Tobi has become a force to reckon with in real estate business in Dubai, serving clients from across the world. We get into his story and his influences, what keeps him going. This is one conversation you don't want to miss. Sitting on the chair today is Tobi Familusi, and just before we started recording, I was teasing him that if anyone is looking for like the Odogu of real estate, Nigerian Odogus of real estate in Dubai and of course UAE, Tobi is that person. He embodies real estate. I don't think Tobi can ever do anything. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for you. Do you see yourself doing anything other than real estate?
I think everything is still going to be tied to real estate, to be honest. Whatever I'm going to do, whether it's tech or fashion and lifestyle, basically those are the other things I'm passionate about. But I will still connect it to real estate.
Still be tied to real estate.
To still be connected to real estate.
What year did you come to Dubai, and what was your before Dubai story?
So my before Dubai story was the average Nigerian middle class home story where you've got to go to school, finish well, go to a prestigious university, finish well.
Which one?
I was University of First Choice and Nation's Pride, University of Lagos.
Okay.
You know, go.
Your shakara is plenty, but it's okay.
So go there, finish well, then get a job immediately. So that was my story. Went to Unilag, studied genetics, graduated second.
Genetics,
Cell genetics. Yeah, weird. Yeah, but that's what I studied. Then I finished second class upper immediately after during my service corps year. I started working in the bank, which was Sky Bank as a then, and yeah, that was it. Sky Bank up to 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, no, 2017. I beg your pardon. I had a short break in 2015. Went to South Africa to try and do something else, but that didn't work out. So I had to come back to Nigeria. Went back to the same bank again. Then 2017 was my final.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Then I immediately came to Dubai in April 2018. And immediately I came to Dubai. I'll not forget, I think 6th of April. And 10th of April, I was already working in a real estate company.
What?
I'm telling you, yes.
Tell me about, how did that happen?
So I had a friend who was already here, who was already working in real estate. So before coming, I asked a couple of questions because I used to see them do a lot of posting, you know. And on Facebook, then I used to ask him, what are you guys really doing? Then he told me that, we sell real estate here. And then he was working with First Group. So I was like, okay, so how does this thing work? What do you guys do? So I got a brief, and that was quite interesting. It was not something I was used to, even though I knew that I could do the sales thing, but being in the back office for almost 9 years, I didn't really have the opportunity to actually explore the sales skill that I had. But that sounded interesting to me. So I was like, okay, let me just come and see what it's all about. You know, one thing about me and my family is I'm the one with the highest risk appetite. I can just pack my bag right now.
Adventure.
Yeah. So once I hear something is nice, I'm just going to go into it. If I perish, I perish. That's the way. That's the way I operate. You know. So I came, and luckily I stayed with him. He was able to house me, and he had a friend that owned a real estate company, an Algerian guy. So we just introduced ourselves. I said, okay, fine, let's do it. And immediately I started working in the guy's company. And I remember again, working in the guy's company, by the second week I did my first rental deal. You know, so that was like, okay,
wow.
I think this is, I almost said this is my calling. You know, but there's no such thing. So, and yeah, it continued like that because then I exposed myself to the other aspect of real estate, which is leasing. So I started doing that, and it was going well. Then an opportunity from nowhere. I still think this is one of the most supernatural moments in my life, where the EMR opportunity just came. I had no prior experience in real estate. I had no prior Dubai experience. That came in around August.
How did you meet someone?
Yeah, so it was through the same mutual friend, but I was with the guy. She just came to the house one day and she said, "Oh, Imari is asking me to hire for telesales." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like, I didn't even know what telesales was. I was like, "Oh yeah, I could do that as well."
It's like, say yes first, then figure it out
exactly.
later.
Then she was okay, share your CV. I did all I had to do on the CV. Are there days that I can do this, I can do that? You know how we are in Nigeria. So, weird thing was, I got the interview, I met her at the interview, then I didn't even get shortlisted. So what I did was, I tried as much as possible to find out who the actual recruiter was. I got the information from her. She was like, "Oh, she mentioned the name. I heard the name. I'll never forget the name. Ramilisa. She's from the Philippines." So I went on LinkedIn to search this person. Then I sent an email on LinkedIn. Then I remember also that during the day of the interview, they told me to send my CV to a certain name so that they can print it out for me. So I looked at the way the email address was. So I followed the same pattern. So I just took a ramilisa.p.
Can you imagine?
So I sent to that. I tried all 5 possible email addresses. One will go through. Then I sent it. Then she called me herself, asked me to come for the interview. Then I met with her in person. Then I got the interview. Then I got the job. That was how the story started. The rest, they say,
is history. What sets anyone apart in this your industry? Because if there's you yourself, like your presence, you just sitting down here going, it's like there's that presence, and I wonder how that has played into your success in this field. So how much of presence, self-awareness makes us successful, makes one successful in this field?
Okay, for me, because my faith background is, I'm a Christian. So I think the first most important thing is faith. You've got to believe. There is that aspect where I understand that everywhere the sole of my footsteps, God has given to me. So I believe. So faith is my first aspect of success. So it is upon that faith that I build confidence. And my aura, all of me, everything that speaks about me is confidence. Even if I don't know it, I'm confident enough to know that I will know it, which means I will do the work. Now, there's the other aspect, which is not so supernatural, which is the aspect of your own discipline. In this field, what will set you apart is having industry knowledge. Because if your confidence is there and your industry knowledge is
you don't
zero,
know Jack,
you will not get the deals done. So I still have that nerdy approach to things where I just want to read and know it and study it. So you have to read, you have to know what's going on in the market. And when I say industry knowledge, I'm not talking about where you work alone. You have to know what's going on in the entire industry. Many times, even what's going on outside of Dubai real estate. Because you would talk to a customer who would tell you, why should I invest in Dubai when I can just invest in Spain, for example? And I'm like, what am I going to do here? So you've got to be that versatile in knowledge, and that industry. And it's not something that you now say, okay, today I want to study about Spain. I'll study about Hong Kong. No, it's not. It doesn't really happen like that. You've got to just give yourself that chance to have that desire that, okay, I really want to know about this market. What kind of nationalities are buying? So if these nationalities coming to Dubai to buy, why can't they buy in their own country? So that's what prompts me to actually go into those people's countries to see what's going on in the economy of the country, in the real estate economy of the country, in the total economy of the country, what's happening in terms of inflation, what's happening to their currency, why are they coming here? What is the main reason why they're coming here? If I then know what's happening, then I would then target more people in that place to tell them that, your guys are coming here to buy, you better come and buy because this is what's happening in your country. But here it's not happening, so this is an advantage for you. So this is what I do. So knowledge would set you apart. Other than faith and confidence, knowledge is very, very important. And again, strategy. Strategy is more like, staying to your own strength, working more on your own strength. For me, I'm a numbers guy. I like to analyze it. So that is what I use most times. Some people use charm, some people use voice. Those things are part of it. They are very important. Your charm is part of it, your voice part of it. In fact, your persona is part of it. But for me, the strongest aspect for me is the strategy part, which is I focus on the numbers. You know, I let you know that this is why you should invest, because this is what is going to happen.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. This is what is going to happen to you over a period. And even if someone is buying it for any other reason, the fact that he hears that he's going to make more money makes him feel like, okay, this is a deal breaker for me, or this is not a deal breaker for me, let me go into it. So for me, this is how I think you can edge, you know, out in this market and become, you know, someone of reputable impact in this market.
It's good that you learn about other countries, other economies. What do you say when people talk about Dubai as a bubble? That, you know, there's just that bubble that Dubai is, everything is a bubble. And they say, well, one day, you know, the bubble will burst. What do you say?
The word itself is a bubble. Bubble is good. Okay, how do I say this? Everyone has experienced the hype, and hype has to be part of life. Paul said, I've learned to abase and how to abound. There's a time where you have to, then there's a time that there will not be. Significantly, as an investor, you have to know those two aspects. That is a bubble, and it's not, and there will be a time that it will blow. During the pandemic, when the bubble actually blew, people invested because the prices of property crashed.
Yeah.
Smart. When the property market picked up again, they sold at profit. So bubble or not, as an investor, you just want to know when is the right time for you to invest. It's as simple as that. So whether Dubai is a bubble or Dubai is not a bubble, I even tell people the fact that it's a bubble is good for you, because you know that people are bringing in their money. And when it bursts, people will still bring in their money. When it's a bubble, it actually shows the two ends of investment. Investment is doing well now, key into it. When it bursts, it was at some point doing well. That means it has a potential to do well.
Go back to doing well.
Do it again. So it doesn't change anything for me. So I tell people, what kind of investment is there in life that has no risk? I wait. There's none. Is it the financial securities? Is it bonds? Is it
nothing?
Nothing.
Even gold goes down.
Gold goes down. As there was a point in 2020, early 2020, WHT was below zero. That was crude oil. Everybody was going crazy. You know, things go down and things come up. You just need to know. Investing is about knowing when and how to play it. And that includes real estate as well. So Dubai, yes, it's a bubble, but it's a good bubble.
And that's on period. What makes you afraid? You exude that confidence, and you know you've attained a lot. If I'm calling you a dogu of real estate, I'm not just hyping you. That's what I see. That's what people see, and I believe that's what it is. You know, the authority that you speak with, your track record, they speak for. I mean, how it's like the companies are just hot cake. Now I hear that you have moved from one place to another. I'm like, hey, I'm just helping you to calculate how much money did this guy charge these people to move. You know, but do you ever get afraid? And I'll put a bit of personal context to that. When I came here and I started going up, right? Like, you know when you're, okay, now you get to a point where I'm interviewing Steve Harvey. I'm getting into rooms where I'm the only black, or one of just two black people, the only black journalist, or the only black TV this, or you're getting opportunities. Now you're getting, one of 12 entrepreneur women. Now you're named most influential this and that. I got to a point where it wasn't the fear of failure, it was the fear of falling. Now you're like up there, right? Do you ever get to that point?
I'm at that point right now. Wow. I learned something long ago, December 2008. It was a moment of a change of trajectory in my life. And what I learned was division, if it's big, first it will scare you. And I also learned that the closer you are to the vision, the bigger it is and the scarier it is. So I've not even gotten to, let me even say 50% of where I want to be. You know, as much as people say, you're an authority in real estate, I'm not even close to where I want to be. But as at this moment of my life, I feel like I have amassed so much that I cannot afford to fall. Not fail, because failure is part of the package. I cannot afford to fall. But again, I try as much as possible to call myself to it. I pinch myself when I feel like that, because sometimes if you fall, you can come back again stronger. And in this business, you would have that sinusoidal movement where you are at the peak of it all. I mean, a lot of people will say you're an authority, but there are some times that the business doesn't just move for me. You've done everything. The client is start with you, they brought the big check, and they call you tomorrow and say, you know what, I think we want to just hold on for personal reasons. So I've had those experiences. But again, it is not those things are part of this job, but what actually scares me is the fact that I get too conceited, oh, I've arrived. And I pinch myself every time I feel like I have arrived. Like, no,
you have not.
This is the vision. You're not even close. So what helps me to push myself, to not get conceited and to not get too into my head is that if you're not even close to where you said, you wanted to go and where it has been defined for you to get to, so you need to keep pushing yourself. So it is that hunger, that drive, that ebullience that gets me to feel like, okay, you know what, yeah, I'm there now, let me keep moving. So for me, what counteracts the fear of falling is the desire to do more. So yes, the fear does come, but it's counteracted with the desire to, okay, let me just push on because I'm not even there yet.
Share with me one or two of those moments that you felt like, oh my God. I mean, we know we're made for greatness, right? Yeah. But there are certain things that happen and you're like, oh, pinch me, somebody.
Okay, a couple of them. Well, so there was this, I would do it in relation to my business. So there was this huge deal back in my first employment, first ever developer employment. It was a very massive deal as at that moment.
Like massive, like?
I think it's still massive. It's 30.
How many zeros are we looking at?
Over 30 million dirhams worth of property was to be bought.
And your cut was going to be like?
Let's not get into the just figure it out. So, I know that first, I am a child of God. I know I'm anointed. I've got faith. And I know I'm good at this job. There's no doubt about it, even as I did. So the client was already, she had encountered a couple of other salespeople, and she didn't just pull through. Then by divine providence, I met with her. I didn't even know that she had a story. And it came to me, and eventually we spoke. And after 3 days into the conversation, she made a deposit. And that means the deal was done. But for her to finalize the deal, she needed to sign the paperwork. Watch this, sign the paperwork and send the paperwork so that we can then lock the deal into the system. That was exactly, she did the deal exactly 1 week before lockdown.
What?
1 week before lockdown.
I want to hear where this story is going.
By the following week, I think lockdown officially started on Wednesday. It was not a Monday, if I can remember, with us when I was in Imo. It was not a Monday, I think it was a Wednesday. As at the time she said she was going to send it, so I was now rushing on the Tuesday, like,
this woman,
because it was already, the rumor was already going on that, Dubai is going to be on lockdown, we're not going to. So, and if the rumor is already being talked about in the semi-government paracetamol, know that it's as good as true. We don't talk anyhow in those kind of places. So as of Tuesday, I was already sending out emails like, you need to do this. In fact, I used very strong worded emails. Just give me my paper. I don't care. Because I knew that at that moment, something significant, in fact, I was already feeling it, that something significant was going to impact this company. And of course, people are going to be impacted for sure. It was a no-brainer. Then she wrote back and said,
oh my God,
this is not something we can do right now.
What? With your money in my account?
She was like, she wants to cancel as a then, and she was in the UK. UK was already closed. Companies, banks, everybody was shut down in UK. So our hands were tied. She was like, people are trying to minimize their investment, see exactly where, they need to stop, see where they need to put more. Because the pandemic was very bad for the UK economy. So she was like, no, she's not doing this anymore. And I was like,
You got to be kidding me.
in January, I was on vacation. So if you go on vacation in sales environment, your sales target still counts. Nobody cares. There's nothing like you're not at work story. So in January, I didn't do any sales because I was on vacation. Throughout that month, I took a vacation. Then the following month, which was Feb, I would not forget. It was Feb, and they were like, no, this was the only deal. I was like, this was excess of 30 million. Just put it in and that's it. So she had put in the money. So it was a confirmed deal. So I didn't have to bother myself, but paperwork didn't come. And after that, that deal didn't pull through. And it was very, very significant for me then, because as at then I felt like, okay, this was going to happen. Okay, so I got compensated during the pandemic because I was still doing business. I was still closing. People were still buying, like I said, bubble or no bubble. People were buying during the pandemic, so I was still selling. But by the time it came, during I think April, May, when the company needed to now, we had to downsize. That was what affected me. So I had to go with the people that were downsized during the pandemic. So that was what affected me, because they were like, oh, this deal, even though it's still recorded under you are not pending, we're hoping that this deal will finish. We can't keep waiting for the paperwork. Unfortunately, you're going to have to go. I first thought something was wrong with my face.
Me.
Even during the pandemic, I was still the only one selling, but I still had to go. So I took it, and it was first hard on my flesh, to be honest with you. And that was one of the toughest moments, because I saw the company, that company was actually, it was so good. I loved every moment in the company. So I found it very hard to let go. So it was a very difficult moment for me, but the deal and leaving the company on those grounds.
Double blows, like knockout.
It was tough. It was tough, but it was short-lived, because immediately that company came calling.
So you never got that money?
I didn't get it.
Wow.
I didn't get it, but I got something bigger after a while. That I got compensated a whole lot after that. Because I cried. Yes.
Which type? There are different types of tears.
I didn't do the.
There's the one that water will just come out.
Water did not
then
just
there's
come
the
out.
one that you be like.
What are you talking about? That was 2020. That was me 2 years. I'd made money, to be honest with you, but this was a significant difference. Like, my bank account will feel it. Like, the bank would be like this, like, you. What's going on here?
They won't give you a text alert. The bank manager have to. We just wanted to let you know that.
My bank account will feel it. So it was a lot, in that moment. I don't know, but I felt it was really a trying time for me, to be honest. I mean, even into the new job, I struggled, because I was still reminiscing, like, if only I could. I tried to reach out to that woman after a while, like, are you still doing this deal? She didn't reply.
Oh, wow.
So that was, I can't remember that about the other ones, but this one, it was like the beginning of my disappointments in the real estate industry. A couple of has happened, but that somewhat made me feel like, okay, in this business, you would have things like this.
Take me back to your earlier years and what your vision of success was at that time.
Okay, in my earlier years, growing up, success was being first in class, which I did for a while. Like I said, if you check my family, it's all about book people,
Are you from Ekiti?
Ocean State.
Oh, really? That's my place.
Yeah.
Well, my father's place, because I don't really know anything about it. I know Lagos.
Almost similar. So yeah, success at some point was first position, which happened. I'm not going to be one of those fathers that'll be telling my kids that I was first in my time. I genuinely was. First, second, like that. Then at some point was being best in a particular subject. And at some point was finishing with a first class, which I almost did. Then I think the game changer for me was when I came into, not even when I was working in the bank, it was when I came here that success changed for me. Success is the ability to go through temporary defeats and still hold on to that vision and that goal and tell yourself that I will still achieve it. Not that I have achieved it, I will still achieve it. Because my mentality about failure began to change after this incident. That, okay, I had this incident, another company said, we'll like you. I'm like me as how? Like to join as how? Me that I just lost a 30-something million deal. But the ability to look at those things as temporary defeats and still press forward, into the things that you actually want to become. That for me is success. It's an abstract thing. I do not still think success is quantifiable. I think success is a cumulative, abstract, stuff that gets you going into what you want to become. Because even when you become something, it feels like you just got into a phase, because another thing is going to come calling. That's why I keep telling people that Elon Musk is still looking for money. Okay, let me not say it like that, because it sounds like he's broke. He's not broke, but Elon Musk still desires to make more money. But when we say he's successful, probably he looks at us like, hey, me that I still want to go to space, me that I still want to do this. He's coming up with different things. So at every achievement that you get in life, it feels like that abstract thing feels like
child's play.
Duh. You still have to do this. You still have to. So that ability to keep moving despite failures, despite success, to keep going to a certain goal, the end goal, because I believe there is an end goal, not a byproduct. There is an end goal. I believe there is an end goal. So the ability to pull through, regardless of what goes on in your life, to that end goal, I believe to me that's success. So at that time, it was becoming first, it was becoming the best in class, becoming the best cell biology and genetics graduate, becoming all of that. To me, that was all it was. It was those things that my parents wanted, what my peers wanted, what people wanted, what family wanted, but it's been redefined for me since my adulthood age. I got to Dubai.
So when you came to Dubai, what was your high ambition?
My ambition, which is still my ambition, is to be one of the most sought after real estate consultants, by the way, in the world. Because there's a way I see it and there's a way people see it. And the way I see it, I'm still trying to preach it, but people are not getting it. Even though I know I've gotten a few success on it, like I've gotten success stories on it, people are like, oh, I like the approach and this is working for me. People are still not buying into it. So I want to spread that gospel. It's like gospel according to real estate in a certain way. How you should invest. What are the things you can do? There is a guy, I don't want to mention this. I don't know if I should mention his name. There's a guy that's approaching it a certain way. I like people to approach it, but still there is still something that he has not added to it. Yeah. So I want to be that kind of person, and I'm working towards it.
So I remember at Road to Success 1, you talking, obviously, very passionate, powerful speech. And I remember you said people are going to get the rest in your book.
Yes.
Where is the book? And I think the book should be called Gospel. What was the thing you said just now? Gospel. The Gospel of Real Estate. Or how did you?
No. The book is something different. It's an acronym called CASKET. So.
CASKET.
Yeah.
CASKET.
Yeah.
My God.
It's an acronym called CASKET. CASKET, seed, bury yourself, come out on the other side.
Does it have anything to do with real estate?
It has everything to do with anything to do with real estate. So it's an acronym. That book I am, because I'm going through different phases right now in the real estate business. I'm coming to learn more. So I'm beginning to understand what confidence is. I thought I knew confidence until sometime recently my confidence was really challenged. I'm like, this is me. What's going on? Confidence is analytical skills, there's strategy, there's knowledge, there's execution, and there's T, total package. That's just the acronym. So I will be talking about all those things. So total package for me is changing. The more I grow in this business, the more I begin to understand that, and the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to write a book and now say another edition or new edition. I want people to get the juice from the first instance they pick that book. I want them to understand why you have to bury yourself for a few weeks, a few months, a few number of years before you become a master. See, the book is just talking about mastery. And to become a master at something, these are the things you must have. And when you become a master, when you are so good, they can't ignore you. In fact, I picked a book recently, Carl Newport. The title of the book is So Good They Can't Ignore You. In fact, that book, as a matter of fact, changed again a couple of things about what my own book should reflect, because mastery is what I'm trying to talk about in the book. I see people who are new in the real estate business, they come and they start doing videos, they start trying to get into the market. I understand you want to make money. There is a lot of money in the industry. I understand, but again, what people don't know is the more you become popular, the more people will start bringing problems for you to fix. And if you're not a master or an authority in that, you would easily fizzle out because they would see you for who you are. Like, so you don't know this thing. So all of this was just, So, and that's not me. I don't want to, I'm being very cautious about even coming on media and saying things about real estate. I'm extremely cautious. But people who know me know that I know what I know. But at this level that I still am, I still feel like, there's still some things I still don't know. Let me master it yet.
I think you're waiting for perfection, but it's okay. It's okay. You touched on something. You touched on something that I think I want to pick you up on and dig a bit more into that. I always wondered why I never saw videos of you, like, now those real estate videos, you're all suited up in that floor. How come? And I see tons. I know a few other people who are in real estate, and I see those videos, and I wonder how come Tobi doesn't do any of those videos?
Yeah, because 2 reasons. Number one, over the years I've been able to. I work exclusively with some very private people in the business. I work with those kind of people, those people who want to buy property, people who I met in my earlier employment or my earlier employments that came into the office or were passed to me. So I've been working with those people. So those people keep me busy to start with, because those people want to buy, their friends want to buy, their family members want to buy. So I didn't necessarily need to put myself out there to generate leads, because that's the whole idea, of doing that, or maybe positioning myself as someone who is an authority. Because I felt like it's okay if these people know me. But the thing is, if you want the gospel that you know to be passed on, you will have to put yourself out there. So my primary reason for doing that now, as people will be seeing a lot more, is that I'm trying to let people understand that they can actually make it doing this business. They just need to understand a few things. It's just like I'm trying to give them a shortcut. There is really nothing like shortcut, but I'm trying to give them an approach that helps them to understand that, okay, you know what? If you do this, put yourself into this, accept this, then you may be able to start getting things done. And the second thing is also for me to begin to actually sell myself, because I think so far I've been doing it badly. So now I think I've been selling myself short, So now I think, yes, I think I know it. I know a lot, to be honest with you. Let me not be conceited, but I think I know a lot in this industry to actually help people become wealthy in the business of real estate. I think I know a lot now.
Success attracts enemies too.
Yes.
Speak on that for a minute.
That's easy now. David and Saul. Of course it does. Success does attract enemies because, for example, as much as it is, there are some people that have been in this industry for longer than I am that respectfully saying, and I'm not being conceited saying this, they've not gotten to where I am. Now, this is not a statement.
It's just fact.
It's just fact. Numbers don't lie. It's not an arrogant statement. People haven't still gotten there. Now, and this is me. I know sometimes you have to tarry to learn. But tarrying too must have expiration date. You don't want to stay 50 years. You are not in a monastery. You are not a monk. You've got to tarry to learn it. Yes, I always want to tarry to know something before I say, okay, I know it. But at the end of the day, we don't all have the assimilation rate. Some people it takes them time to learn it. Some people it takes them shorter time to learn it. But it doesn't mean that they are not successful or they are not working on the path of success. Time is something that we must be careful to use to judge each other. But people who don't understand it envy you. Like, when did he come into this market and he thinks he can be telling us what to do? It's not about when. When you were putting yourself out there without learning too much, I was learning a lot. Then now putting myself out there, people come to me because now I know it. I've often gotten to meeting with salespeople. And when I see them talking like this, and I see the numbers they're calling for the client, and I'm trying to compose myself, I'm like, oh my God, if this guy makes this mistake, it's going to be a tragedy. I think people who, see this level of success, who envy it, are the people who don't know what success really means, and who don't know that time sometimes needs to be put in the right context so that you don't be hating on people that you are supposed to actually learn from them, you know. And that's why I will not see someone who is doing well in real estate and I line myself people that are actually doing well, like, yo, how did you do this one? Tell me, I want to learn. Like anything that I see that I don't know and I see someone pulling it off, I will rub on you like till I get it from you. I would ask you that, tell me, how did you do this one? Okay, let's do it. You know, I just want to learn, you know, but people who envy you don't understand the concept of time and, you know, I believe they came out abruptly without, you know, taking their time to learn a couple of stuff. So, and I don't still have any issues with them, to be honest. If they still come to me, I still answer them. I answer people's calls.
Where have you gotten the most beef, envy? Was it from your kind?
Of course.
Or?
I don't even say the or. Of course, the challenge.
And why? Explain that to me.
I do not
Is
know.
it familiarity? Like
I do not know. And I'm not really that familiar, to be honest. I'm friendly, but I'm not familiar. I do not know. People say that I am on my own. Not necessarily true. Because some people will say, no, if you call Tobi, if you talk to Tobi, he's there to listen. I honestly do not know. I always tell people that most of my clients are actually Europeans. They don't believe me. It's true. I honestly do not know. I think we need to do better generally from Nigeria to Africa as a whole. I think we're having identity crisis a lot. And that thing affects us. It doesn't let us do business here together. I'll speak for the Indians. Indians are always together. They do things together. They grow together. They amass wealth together, by the way. But we have a problem when someone is doing well. You know, only a very few sects in Africa want to see people do well.
Who was the first person to sort of portray success to you? The first human representation of what success is?
I think my mom. My mom is funny you'd have expected me to say my dad. No, my mom. I saw my mom, so when I grew up seeing my mom as a manufacturer in Nigeria. That's weird. So I saw her, so by the time the story was eventually going to come out, she was going to say, when she was going to tell us how she came here, she had distinction in Yaba College of Technology. So now you see why I have to read book.
The pressure is getting worse.
So she had a distinction in Yaba College of Technology. She worked in companies like Boots and I think Guinness. So she graduated as a chemist. She finished industrial chemistry. You know, those are things that people don't do. In fact, she was a record holder at some point in Yaba Tech. She was a teacher for 8 years. Then she went through all of that and she became a company owner. So to me, I saw a woman who was a man. Growing up, I was what's going on? She was that. To her, there is no excuse. You just have to make it. And that was it. We all caught it. Like my mom was, no, you get it right or you forget it. So if you go to school, there's no point going to school without doing well. If you're not top 3, there's no point. Those are the kind of things that we got. At some point it was hard, like, what is it? But getting out of school, getting out of secondary school into university, it was clear that this way was just it. You just have to, if you want to do something at all, what's worth doing at all is worth doing well. If you want to get into it, just go into it with your mind, body, and soul. If you will not do that, then don't bother to do it. So to me, she was like the first representation of success based on her history, what I grew up to see her do, and even till today, how she pushes me till today. Because to be honest with you, if I'm having some downtime moments at my place of work, I can just call her. I'm like, things are not really going on. So then she's always motivating me like, you cannot be complaining now. My mom has a way of listening to me. She's like, no, it's you now. Why would you be complaining? Out of all my children, then she goes, you're the only one that can. Some truths, but sometimes that reminds you of who you are. Then you go again. You know, yeah. So she's the person, I could say.
Having made all that money, as if I know how much the money is. Well, having just gotten here, it's not just about making the money, it's making the impact, setting the record, accomplishing something, going somewhere. that's, not your home country, not your language, and then still killing it. From where you sit, what is success to you now?
For me, success to me is, like I first defined, it's the ability to go through temporary defeats and even some good spells on the journey and still not being distracted about the ultimate goal. There is an ultimate goal for me. What if I told you that my ultimate goal is something that I've known as far back as being a teenager, and all of this I'm doing, by the way, this is, allow me to use the word, very prophetic to where I would be.
Jesus.
Because I know where I'm going. Unfortunately for some people, they don't see. For me, I see exactly what I should be. And I know everything, all of these things, I know where it's going to end. So the ability to still hold on tight to that vision and to that goal and to eventually say, this is where we're going, so this is the path. That ability to me is success. It's not the achievement. It is the ability to remain.
To get to the end goal.
To the ultimate goal. I call it the ultimate goal. That to me is success. And that's why I tell people, when you see Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk saying Twitter will become X, and Amazon is saying it's going to become this, these were not visions that just came. No. They probably became clearer, but they were there the moment they started the vision. So when they got to a level that people were celebrating and they said, yeah, but this is not it.
This is not even
then
it.
Sometimes they probe deeper to be like, okay, this is where we're going. Because the vision of Apple, for example, is in their statement. We just want to change the game of technology. And each time they come up with something game changing, and they come up with something else, as though there is still something that they're going for. And that is it. Success is the ability. Apple hasn't gotten there yet. Why should I relax? They just launched 15. They'll probably launch 16. Probably launch something else. So you have to keep launching different versions of yourself to get to a place that you want to get to. There is an ultimate goal. There is always an ultimate goal. But that ability to remain steadfast on that path, on that journey, if the success comes, don't be too excited about it and forget where you're going. If the failure comes, don't be too downtrodden to forget that you have where you're going. That ability to look at all those things that hit you on the side, success here, achievement here, failures here, temporary defeats here, and still say, yeah, that's where we're going. That's my success.
Here's something you said that I'm taking away. You said, Apple has not stopped yet. Why should I relax? I think I've forgotten the exact words, but I think it sounded something like that. I'm like, whoo, that hit me. Like, please, offering basket somebody, because we just had church in here. On that note, Tobi, I think it's just been a powerful session. Literally, I almost felt like I saw a picture of what that thing is. But I don't know. I'll tell you after. You not tell me if it's the one. But thank you so much.
I will not disclose.
It's okay. Don't worry.
There are only 3 people that know exactly what it is. Myself, my wife, and I think my mom too does.
Wow.
But we know where this is all going. We all know.
Don't worry. When you finally get there, and if it's what I thought, then I'll not tell you that actually. But it's really just been such a power-packed, I don't know any other way to describe what just happened, but such a power-packed session, talk, and it just, that aura, that confidence, I'm like, ooh, give me some of that, and let's keep going. And you're right. Something profound that I heard one time was by Professor Oyewale Tomori, who was the then Vice Chancellor of Redeemers University, where I studied. And for our final, graduating dinner type thing with the VC, he said something. He said, think of, as you go out there, think of success and failure like a lab coat. You go into the laboratory, you put on your coat. Mm-hmm. That coat could be success today, could be failure tomorrow. Always learn how to take it off.
Take it off, yes.
Hang it back and keep moving, keep going. And that just aligns with what you said today. Yeah. That success, if you're not careful, might look like it might be a distraction.
Yes.
But keep your end goal in whatever your end goal is keep it in mind. Thank you so much for joining us. And we say cheers to your success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
That's it, guys. We'll see you in the next video.